Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my little show about whitewater things. Today I want to talk about catching eddies by pushing into them. This is a series of videos about catching eddies for oar boats. I'm talking about pulling, pushing, and next I'll talk about the downstream ferry. Pulling, again, you basically are going slower than the current. You're pulling on the oars, you're pulling on the oars. It's easy to get the right position and speed in here, but you cross the eddy line at like kind of parallel to it. It's really hard to pierce through the eddy line, and so it's sometimes a challenge with the pull to actually get into the eddy. The push is a great method for piercing the eddy line. So the concept is you point at the eddy and you push, so you're going faster than the current. You're moving very fast in this example, so the timing down here is really hard to do all these at the same time. And so you push, 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 push. You enter the eddy at a little bit more than 90 degrees, because as soon as you enter it, your bow is going to catch water and spin, so that when you're crossing it, you end up being 90 degrees and the boat spins up facing upstream. And the beauty of facing upstream is, one, you can see upstream. So if you have to set some sort of safety, you can see what's going on really easily and quickly peel out to help save swimmers or do something else. So it's nice for safety to be looking upstream. This is how kayakers catch eddies. They paddle forward into eddies. Kayakers don't back into eddies and ferry into them. They aggressively attack them and pierce the eddy line really well. Same thing stand-up paddleboarders do. Stand-up paddleboarders paddle straight down faster than the current into the eddy. This is a great technique, but it's hard for a couple reasons. Again, you're moving faster than the current, so to catch the eddy at the top with the right speed is hard. This takes practice. This takes really good timing. You have to understand what's going on. That's an important detail. And two, you're not really strong pushing. And so this takes a lot of finesse, right? When you're pushing into an eddy, when you set this up here, you really have to have a vision for what's happening and use the river and use the muscles you have to get yourself into the spot. So this is a very difficult thing to do. It's easier with lighter oar boats. It's easier with catarafts. This is a great method for a cataraft. Doing this with a heavy gear boat is difficult. It's not impossible. It's super possible, but it's challenging. It's something you can do well with practice. So this is a technique I use a lot. I like it, but I've practiced it a ton, and it's powerful in certain circumstances. Wow, lots of big combinations of words today. Anyway, here's some examples of pushing into eddies and why it works so well. In this example, I want to catch this small eddy on the right to provide safety on the river. And so I see the eddy, I'm pointing down into it, I'm pushing into it. There's the eddy line, there's my angle, I'm kind of headed in. And my position, as long as I'm behind those rocks and I cross that eddy line at about 90 degrees, I'll be able to head right in pretty easily. This is all about position and angle and having some speed. And the timing is doing it all at the same time. And that second cataraft is doing the same thing. Here's an example of an oar boat. His position's off a little bit. He could have caught this eddy higher. He could have been closer to that blue circle, but he's aggressively entering it so that when he spins, you saw the spin, he is 90 degrees as he crosses it and spins nicely and is now facing upstream. Here, this cataraft has great position right behind that rock, great position, but he over-rotated past 90 degrees. And so he's going to cross the eddy line, but struggle a little bit with the eddy because of the over-rotation. So you want to come in a little bit less than 90 degrees so that when the boat naturally spins in the eddy, you're in good shape. Here I want to catch a small eddy that kayakers catch. I got my angle set to this eddy line. My position right behind the blue part is the highest I can get. A little less than 90 degrees so that when I cross the eddy right there, the spin happens and the eddy stops my momentum. This is easy with a cataraft, of course, because they're light. There's not much momentum. Here's a 16-foot gear boat, and I want to catch a small eddy on the right behind that big rock on the right, catching the eddy as high as I can, about 90 degrees. So when I put the bow in, again, the boat spins as it crosses. Now, a gear boat has momentum, so once you get into the eddy, you have to dissipate that momentum. I'm doing that by pushing on the oar still, and then I finally use the rocks on the side to sort of slow down a little bit too. This is an 18-foot gear boat. Same thing. I'm basically setting up. I'm building speed from left to right. I want to be 90 degrees to this eddy line. And the position here is key. I want to be right behind this rock. So I start catching the eddy at the top where the eddy is the strongest and most distinct. I cruise across it really fast. I now have momentum that's taking me downstream, which by catching the eddy at the top, it dissipates that momentum. And I'm using the rocks here on the river right side to sort of help stop the boat in the end. So I hope those examples helped. Again, the general idea with pushing into eddies is that you see where you're going, and you can pierce through the eddy line because you're crossing it at a near 90-degree angle. It's just, again, hard because you have weaker muscles, and you're moving so fast, it's hard to get it just right. But I personally love this technique, and it's something that I practice a lot when I'm on the river, so that I can keep fine-tuning my technique and stay in practice. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, always leave them in the comment section below. And remember, this is a series of 4 videos. The first one was an introduction video to all these techniques, pulling, pushing, and downstream ferry. I just did one on pulling in eddies, which you might want to watch. This one is specifically about pushing, and next I'll talk about the downstream ferry. Anyway, thanks for joining me. See you next time.